song to play. That's what I should have done. Hey, we're live.
Yeah, hey, what theme music?
I added a different intro music to the front end for 180.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're talking about last week's episode that just got uploaded to iTunes this morning.
Yeah.
Episode 180, but this is episode 181 of Gather the Nerds. I'm Cav, that's Nick.
What's up, guys?
Other people will be joining us. Apparently, there was some sort of avian rescue required.
Hopefully it wasn't avian flu.
Yes, something along those lines. I don't know. I also know that my StreamYard was having some fairly significant issues earlier today. I thought it was my Chrome browser, but apparently it was StreamYard. I don't know. I love StreamYard though. It's a great platform.
It is, and I've noticed that a lot of people that are recording podcasts similar to us, where they're in different locations, are utilizing StreamYard to both capture the audio, but also push it to YouTube and that kind of thing.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, StreamYard just added the separate audio tracks option, which we've been waiting for months at this point, because mixing the audio, which is why like we skip episodes in iTunes, is because mixing the audio together when it's one single track and trying to make everything like work when you can't isolate people individually is damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'd rather have something that's super clear and clean. And so they got that option. It's on. I barely had to tweak with 180, and maybe I'm not a pro, but it sounds pretty good. So
it's all that matters.
That is very, very true.
Next up, I've got to update my microphone and camera setting because I'm washed out and I can't adjust that.
You might have some color adjustment in that camera.
Would it be in the camera itself?
It would be in the Logitech. There should be some Logitech software. I know this is top tier content for.
Yeah, no, I've got the software. I'll tweak around with it.
Yeah, you might. So basically, if at some point, Nick looks, like he's been on the beach for a week, you'll know that maybe he's gone with the colors a little too far. Yeah, it's a
little bit better.
A little bit. And true, like here's the thing, you also have that like giant orb of light to the side of you.
It's the sun. It's cool.
I'm not used to it. It hasn't been out in like a week here.
This is true.
It's been raining.
I was looking at my yard like, oh my gosh, I've got to mow, and it's gonna stink.
Yeah, that is not gonna be great. Not gonna be great at all. I assume Sam, potentially Hannah. He said we. I don't know what you just did.
Zombie.
Nice.
Sickness.
Nice.
None.
Are these like pre-done filters?
Yeah.
There you go.
Dude,
there you go. Black and white, like your vintage.
That's cartoon.
There's some color. Yeah, so we'll have some people join us here in just a few minutes, I'm sure. We just wanted to get started because
for sure
we can just talk about random stuff. We don't even have to go to the agenda yet.
Yeah.
I will say it was really, really nice to go. Had I been to the theater yet when we recorded last? Maybe because we talked about
Mortal Kombat.
You were
about to. I think
we talked about Mortal Kombat, how the movie wasn't that wonderful.
No, but I did watch the original Mortal Kombat last night.
I love the original so much.
It's so good. It's cheesy.
Of course.
But it's good. It's better than the new one, simply because the new one, it's kind of like what is the point? You have a character that's a relationship to Scorpion, but like he doesn't do anything except get beat up.
It's true.
I don't get it. Hey, Nita.
Yep. So tonight we are going to the drive-in movie. They're doing a
right on
Bon Jovi drive-in movie concert this weekend or tonight. So that's going to be fun.
Nice.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That'll be good.
Yes,
that'll be fun.
There's Sam.
Hello.
Sam the man.
What's happening?
How's it going?
How's your avian rescue?
Yes, the avian rescue.
I mean, it was exciting. Yeah.
I have a I have a dove's nest in my gutter underneath one of the overhangs of my house, like where water will never get, just because of how it's covered and everything. And they have recently had small baby doves or whatever.
Oh.
And so yes, there's a lot of birds around the house, like outside. There was also a giant snake a few weeks ago.
Another one?
No, same one.
We still tell stories of the giant snake.
Well, I mean, this is the second. This is the second of the two. Hannah, hello, Hannah. This is the second of the two giant snakes that have ended up on my front porch.
Ooh.
But apparently we have a neighborhood snake wrangler. He does this. Hey, Sam, there's a flurkin next to you.
I'm trying not to move. I hear their vision's based on movement.
Yeah, neighborhood snake wrangler. He basically just comes and picks up snakes for the whole neighborhood. If you've got one, you just text him. He comes and gets it. But not only him and his like 6 and 8 year old daughters come and get it.
Oh, that's cool.
She wanted to keep the one they found in my on my porch. He said no.
How far do they travel?
Yeah, no get it. Yeah, be like, hey, so
Next door.
I got a job for you. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty.
I'm out on that, man. I've got some matches and a lighter, and I'll be over there after the podcast. We can just burn it down.
Burn it down. And so yeah, it's Misty's opinion is the only good snake is a dead snake.
I agree.
So I'm just like, it's not doing anything. It just eats rodents and stuff and bugs
I
and whatever.
Unless
Was
it's
it a rat snake?
moccasin or a rattlesnake?
Yeah, it was
then
a
I don't
rat
want
snake.
those.
Yeah, here's the thing. If it is a non-venomous snake, like I doesn't really bother me that much. Now, if it get like, here's the thing. Mojo is not smart enough not to know to try and pick it up. And so that's the only thing. Like he would just go try and throw it around like he does his rope because it just looks like a rope. So
I'll never forget our previous lab got a king snake, big, huge king
oh
snake.
yeah.
And they raise up like they're gonna they act like they're going to
Were they okay there, Hannah?
Yeah.
She's trying not to move because the chair squeaks.
No, I'm sorry, Nick. I wasn't trying.
You're
I was
good.
trying to move my laptop back, and I guess on the desk it squeaks. Sorry.
I heard it. I just didn't know what it was. And so anyway, he got a hold of it and he shook it to death and it split into like a couple of pieces and some of it was up on the roof for a little while. It was gnarly. I mean, he had we didn't even get out there before it happened.
Wow.
But I'm convinced that dog was part mongoose because he fought copperheads and all kinds of stuff and never got bit.
That's
Wow.
crazy. Less interesting. We found a bird.
That's what we were talking about.
That's actually what we were talking
avian
about.
Rescue.
Yeah, because its wing, like the feathers were all like ruffled, and it like wasn't flying away, so we assumed something was wrong.
They
And
kept
so-
running underneath the car and running across the
Yeah, and so we were
driveway.
like, well,
Was it a
clearly
road runner?
No.
Really, clearly it can't
road
fly. So then we got a box after we called a vet, and we were gonna go take it to be saved. And then it was more scared of the box than its injury, and it flew away. But I still feel like we saved
Probably
it.
just
'cause
tired.
We gave it that extra push it needed.
It's
That's
like,
right.
These
Probably
these
just tired.
giants are trying to put me in a box, and they're
Right.
like, in their lore, like you're gonna try and cook it because we eat chickens, and so
mean-
that's in their lore. That's all it is. Is like we're just bird murderers.
I
Not
had-
wrong.
I had this moment, like this thought in my head that I was like, we're the giants in Jack and the Beanstalk in this scenario.
Mhm.
Nice. Well, we've got movie and TV news, including some pretty amazing things. DC's dropped a few pretty awesome things as well. A lot of gaming news in there as well. Happy Vault of Glass Day to everyone. The new Destiny
Yay.
Vault of Glass raid is up. I'm fairly 3 of the people here, like me, Nick, and Sam, we've completed Vault of Glass. You were in the Vault of Glass run, weren't you, Sam?
I believe so, yeah. Way
Yeah,
back in
and
the
then
day. I
you
think
were in
that's
both
the
of
only
them.
one.
I think you were in both of them.
Yeah, and
I don't know that I ever completed again after that.
I don't know that.
I
any
think that was
of
the only
us
raid
did.
I ever did.
I can't blame you. Our crew was extra with that.
Yep. And so a bunch of gaming news, and some follow-ups on some of the card shenanigans that are happening at Target and other
man.
stores and things like that. And I was listening back to 180 as I was editing it, and just the whole like cereal discussion. And the
Oh,
only
I
thing,
forgot the cereal.
the only thing that we wanted was basically like some grainy black and white video of someone running out of a store with a cart full of like Lucky Charms and maybe knocking somebody down on the way out.
Yeah.
So I titled the episode "First They Stole His Lucky Charms, then they got his Pokemon cards." So where do we want to start? Movies, TV, DC, gaming, or other/random?
Random.
Random.
Random it is.
Let's
I
talk
mean-
about this. So we had talked about people going into stores and whatnot and opening up boxes of cereal for Pokemon cards and things like that. Well, Target has gone one further and basically said, guess what? We're not selling cards in the store at all anymore. No Pokemon, no sports cards, like nothing.
Mhm.
And so people, and this is from an article on The Verge. Oh yeah, hold on. I need to throw our banner up at the bottom. There we go. This says people have reportedly been opening cereal boxes in stores to steal the included Pokemon cards, and someone even in Japan climbed down a rope to steal almost $9,000 worth of cardboard cards designed for kids. Now, Target had done like a pack limiting thing, like you can only buy so many packs and things like that recently, but apparently people had then started just camping out at stores, things like that.
Yeah, weren't they like they were buying the limited amount, whatever, and then going and dropping them off at their car, and then just coming back in and getting like 3 more or whatever.
And they're talking about how basically they had threatened to get law enforcement involved if people started camping out. And at some point, someone pulled a gun.
Oh,
so,
man.
So
So
Target
why-
said no more.
Why are cards? Why are they? Why is it so big right now?
The hobby has gone insane because I've talked to Tattoo about this quite a bit, and because like there was for a long time during COVID, there's only a few printers of those cards. Like the quantity and availability was a lot lower than it was. So if you grabbed a box or something like that at Walmart, you could flip it for 3 or 4, even 5 times the cost. So it doesn't take a genius to figure out what people started doing. Instead of, they were collecting unemployment while they were using that, going to Walmart, buying boxes and flipping them like on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. There's people we know that basically go into Walmart, spend, $500 on cards, whatever they could get, and turn it for $2 or $3 grand. And basically they figured out the distributors' routes and would just follow them from store to store.
It's crazy.
Which is why you can't get anything anymore. And so Walmart's doing the same thing. No more cards.
That's the premise for the next Fast and Furious movie.
Gotta get
Instead
my
No
of
more cards.
yeah,
Not
instead
gas,
of stealing
Not
gas
DVD player and
DVDs.
TVs, cards.
cards. Yep. And
Hannah, we were on the same path.
it all leads back to Fast and Furious. It really does.
Always.
I mean, and so yeah, as of May 14th, a little over a week ago, baseball, football, basketball, and Pokemon will no longer be sold in stores. Magic cards are still there because no one's fighting over them. But they and
That's pretty funny.
the whole
Yet.
market's that's true. If that's the only thing that's there, like
Oh, it'll happen.
Give it time.
there's so much different. Because you look at like even the pricing of the hobby and stuff like that, with people stuck at home and things like that, they kind of go back to like, oh, I used to do this, I used to do that, and cards is one of those things you could order online, show up at the house. You don't really have to go anywhere for anything. And it's not just Pokemon too. Like the whole hobby has gone insane. Where some of the boxes that you used to be able to get a box of football cards for $150. Now they're like a minimum of $200, $300, $400. It's absolutely like it's really unfortunately taken
crazy.
a lot of the more common hobbyists out of the hobby. like because some people can't.
Sorry, one moment.
Hannah's in the vortex. I will say I was a little disappointed. I was really hoping that the gray cat would walk in front of Hannah and then the orange cat would walk in front of you at like the right time, like it changed colors halfway through. So
We'll try to.
Well,
make
I
that
mean,
happen
that
for you.
that doesn't shock me that cards have kind of taken that, like you said, because people have been at home, kind of getting reconnected with things that maybe they've let go. I mean, well, radio for me wasn't something that I did forever in a day.
Is
It's
that-
something that I have gotten into, and now, I mean, it's hard to find ham radio stuff. It's harder
Yeah.
to find than toilet paper. So it's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, but what I'm going to be very curious about is, as we get to the backside of COVID, like, does the hobby kind of come back? It doesn't really feel that way. Like, this is the worst it's been, and this is kind of like, at least for us here in Oklahoma or in this county, I guess, stuff is a little bit more on the backside than whatever. But I just, it's rough because like me in church, like we like to open stuff and we've done box breaks on here and things like that. And like you can't. It's hard to get stuff and the amount of stuff you could get for the money has, dramatically lessened. So
Yeah, we used to every now and then, if we were like at a store, we would pick up a couple of them for church. It was just kind of random because we have no idea what to look for. But
No idea.
and now there's just nothing, and he's just like, there's really no point in trying to pick anything up. And of
Yeah,
course
there's
now we can't because they're not stocking them.
that's not human. It's just
And it
It's-
had already kind of started being that way before the pandemic, just with people scalping aisles
the
for
scalpers,
different
yeah,
things.
for sure.
So, I mean, that was always already kind of an issue when, gosh, I want to say about the time we started box breaking on the podcast, you and Church had mentioned that was already kind of a problem. So
Mhm.
I can only imagine that the pandemic made that worse from a money standpoint of things.
Because there was
Yeah.
there are some products that you never know what's going to be hot, and then like if you get a good draft class for basketball and stuff like that, yeah, you could go hit a Walmart and grab a box and pull a any number of things. But now it's just I mean it's not even so much about the cards now as much as it's the unopened boxes. It's the I'm going to sit on this box for 10 years, or there is a chance for a significant upside on those things, but. I was watching a box break at SNS this morning that he did, and it was like a $95 buy-in for one team, randomized team. You don't get to choose your team. Certain number of hits, things like that. Some people got completely skunked, and there are other guys who pulled like $1,000 card. So I mean, it's that gamble, it's that risk to go out there and do that. So if you're at a Target and you see some cards, you might just snap them up just because. You never know.
Even if they say magic.
Hey, I'm telling you,
You never
this may bring it back. You never know.
Never know.
Could
I
be
don't
a
know
black,
that it ever really went away. I didn't
could be a
realize
Black
my
Lotus in there. I don't know.
I didn't realize my cousin was into magic as much as he is. And he was telling me that he was downsizing his collection before he went to Japan. And I was just asking him about it because I know nothing.
Yeah.
And the stuff he was telling me blew my mind. Like he has cards from high school days,
Mhm.
and the value of it's just crazy.
I
Just the
kick-
stuff that he was talking about.
I kick myself because it came out. Magic was around. We would have been 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade.
I was gonna say
Yeah, and
middle
he would have
school.
been 6th or 5th
Yeah.
grade, something
And
like
I
that.
mean, I used to play at 7th and 8th grade. I
Yeah.
had cards and all kinds of stuff. Now I'm just like,
I had
man.
cards because I thought they looked cool, but I never could play the game. I got
The-
too impatient to learn.
The artwork.
Well, that's
on
how it
has
was
al-
with.
has always
I
been
think
cool.
when those trading card games started getting popular, I didn't really understand the premise of it. You know what I mean? Like, how do you play?
Mhm.
And nobody I knew at the time knew how to play. So naturally, it just was like, oh, okay, whatever. Same with like Dungeons and Dragons or those kinds of games. Like, I didn't have any friends that played them, and if I had, I'm sure I would have been more deep into it, but just never had the opportunity.
Same.
We've talked about a D&D game for many years at this point. Many years.
Kind of like a raid; it ain't gonna happen.
Say we have a player's handbook. We can.
Yeah. Well, there was a
Give you
pandemic
the-
at that, so
We can't
What'd
really
you say,
tell you
Kev?
how to play it.
I said there was a pandemic in the middle of that, so it's a little tough.
Oh,
to
for
get
sure.
together.
For sure. I'm just joking around, but yeah. I think the biggest struggle that we would have now, truthfully, is time.
Yeah.
Just trying to get everybody's schedule to line up to even have a weekly session.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what
mean,
you're
that's-
talking about. We have no problem getting raids together.
It doesn't
I
always
wasn't talking
have
about
to
raids.
be weekly. I know some people they do it like every other week or monthly,
Yeah.
as long as you
And-
can remember what's going on in your campaign.
And
I
there's-
thought
and
the
there's
rule
also,
was
like-
it had to be Thursday, though. That was the thing. That just critical
That's-
role.
That's only if you're getting paid to do it.
Oh, okay.
Now, aren't there also
Kevin and I
like
can get in a
shorter
raid all the
campaigns?
time now. We're good. We got the crew.
Yeah, but aren't there also like shorter, like basically a campaign you can go through in an evening, just like
I think
something
so.
smaller,
I
more.
think so.
Yeah, and I think there's like pre-mades too. Maybe I know there's pre-made characters, so I'm sure there's somewhat pre-made.
I'm just
like,
gonna try and set
campaigns.
everything on fire if we ever do.
Well,
it,
and
like,
so
does that burn? Does that burn?
so
You
maybe
could
something
be
that
a druid, and then you could shapeshift into an alpaca.
I'm down.
Yeah.
When do we start?
Murder Llama.
Yeah.
That's your name.
Murder.
Murder Llama.
Sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
you.
you're good. You're good. You're good. Kind of along the lines of what Cav was talking about with the one shots. Is that what those storybooks are? Like, so I don't even know what it's not Helm's Deep, but like it's a book that is like it takes you through the quest. Is that what that is?
Maybe like I know there's like Tasha's something cauldron or something like that. I see it advertised. It's kind of like an expansion DLC
Okay.
type.
Okay.
And it has new stuff like that you can pull from, but I'm sure there is like another story element too. I
Like-
just know of it from like our friend has a warlock, I think, and he was able to pull like spells and stuff from that.
Gotcha. Okay, maybe that's what it is. I just like there's one that's called Neverwinter. You know what I mean? And it's apparently a free to play one that I guess you play it online. But I don't know. I was just curious because I didn't really that's something else that I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah, Guide to Ravenloft and Candlekeep Mysteries and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, well, and there's other like D&D like games that aren't D&D. I mean,
Right.
like a different brand, and they might be shorter and something that's easier to play. I don't know.
Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons. It's a comic book. That's what it looks like.
There you go. We can
Yeah,
play
there it
Stranger
is.
Things, and we can all be 11.
Excellent. Well, we'll stay on
I
this.
kind of want to be Lucas because he's got a bow and arrow.
Nice. We'll stay on this gaming track here. Looks like we just missed the humble COVID-19 bundle. Had a bunch of stuff in it, including grilling and gardening, where you can get Pitmaster Garden Alchemy, the new camp cookbook, Kitchen Garden Revival, any number of things. Learn You More Python, Mega Sound Designer Loop Crate Volume 2. I probably would have liked that one just because I like to mess with stuff.
Yeah.
And all kinds of things. So always go and check out the Humble Bundles because you never quite know what you're going to find in those things. And they support a good cause.
They do.
So there's a best of Bandai Namco right now. Code Vein, Pac-Man, Project Cars, Tekken, and more. So yeah.
Lynn gets a lot of the Humble Bundles. He gets a lot of books from there. I mean, games
do.
too.
Oh, the Mega Sound Designer is up as something else. Mixcraft Home Studio. I'm going to be a DJ.
Wicca what?
That's right.
What's your
Oh,
DJ name?
I have no idea. I'll leave it to you guys to come up with something like that.
Oh, we will. You won't like it. We will.
Oh, before I forget, just because this is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, and we talked about it. Yep, there he is. There's the potential campaign poster.
Nope.
Oh man,
Yes.
That
Yes,
was-
indeed.
that's pretty great.
Is that still from last week? Because those are
No.
those are old glasses.
Yeah,
That
that's
had to be
really
for a while
old.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sega's talking about reviving some old classics like Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. I'm all aboard Crazy Taxi.
I'm all
Yeah.
about Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
I know. Jet Set was so much fun, and they've had a couple of I mean, obviously there've been Crazy Taxi clones forever, but there've been a couple of attempts to make kind of that Jet Set Radio type environment and type, grinding / I mean, and we had oh man,
It was orange.
yeah, there was that really big game on the 360 or
Sunset
no
Overdrive.
Sunset
Yeah.
Overdrive. Yeah, it
Yeah.
did a little bit with that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, it wasn't the same. I'm really excited about them bringing stuff like that back.
Yeah, they said brands like Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Panzer Dragoon, and Virtua Fighter are all options. Virtua Fighter is only good if they keep the same like polygon like structure
Same,
for
yeah.
the people.
Same character design.
Like that's the thing. Like if you bring it up to common like or to like modern level things, we have that game. It's called Mortal Kombat. So
true.
we don't need or Tekken. Like we don't need
Killer
that. Ah, Killer Instinct. That's a good pull.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of Sega's looking at things. There's people love bringing back those old games, getting remasters. Obviously not an old game that recently got a remaster. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm just going to read the title of the article. It says Mass Effect Legendary Edition review in progress. Still slaps, but now in 4K. So
I am really excited about it. I've always loved Mass Effect. It's amazing. It was the first game that I played. Like I originally beat it before we made the jump to an HD TV. And so I originally played it in that, old 480 resolution.
Mhm.
And then when we got a fancier TV, I was like, ooh, this is new and different. And then when it came to PC, I got it. But the controller configuration was always terrible. And apparently they fixed that. So I'm really excited to play the remastered version on PC. It's going to be great.
It's less butt shots. We know that from a couple
Less
of-
butt shots.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean,
Some of the...
Better
oh, man.
graphics, less butts.
but isn't well? By the way, that's our title. Okay, hold on, gonna write this down. So it's
Better graphics, less butts.
228.
Well
Better
played.
graphics.
Well played.
That's why you keep me
See,
around.
we've missed you. We need you more.
It's
You
very
got these
true.
epic one-liners. They're
Yep.
perfect.
Better,
Thank
it's true.
you.
Oh boy. So yeah, here's the thing. I've never played Mass Effect ever.
What?
I haven't either.
haven't
I have not either.
Nope.
I've
Nick,
watched him play.
It's Star Wars. It's you're a Jedi. You've got lift and
It's
push.
Star Wars,
and-
but it's not Star Wars.
yeah, but with guns, more guns.
Star
Guns.
Wars.
Star Wars
And
was more
before the
civilized
remaster,
Jedi,
you
gotcha.
had butts. It was like Star Wars with really defined butts.
This is true.
Oh, that's
That's
very
And
true.
Seth Green. Wasn't he in one of them?
He was the pilot in a couple of them. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, there will.
Speaking of Seth Green, anybody watch MODOK yet?
I've not watched MODOK yet. No.
That's
It,
crazy. I don't know what to think of it.
We were watching it last night. I guess it released yesterday, and it's on Hulu. And I think they've got a full season, and it's basically Robot Chicken, but Marvel
MODOK. Yeah.
MODOK,
So it's Marvel. It's Marvel Robot Chicken then.
Marvel Robot Chicken.
But
It's
Seth Green is the one who did it, right?
yeah.
I thought I saw his name in the credits. So yeah.
We did indeed. Never would have thought that
Right.
that's what he would make his mark on the world with, claymation.
Claymation and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Uh,
But yeah, MODOK. It's not for the kids, by the way. I don't know if that's something I need to say, but
he was in. Speaking of Jet
Doesn't
Set
hurt.
Radio
Thank you.
and rollerblading, I'm gonna see if you guys have seen this movie.
Blaming the
was in a-
cube.
No,
Is it that Disney movie?
he was in a rollerblading movie called Airborne.
I've seen the movie.
Yes.
Is that the one where they're racing? Like it was the guy that was a surfer and he transplanted to someone. Okay, never mind.
Here's the thing.
I don't think so.
Here's what I remember about that movie. One, like there was a summer that like at my house, like my sister or whatever, we watched like it was just on all the like we rented that movie all the time.
Hey,
Seth Green was in it.
yes, you are correct. Hannah, you are correct. That is the
Okay.
movie.
Surfer
Yep,
transplant.
you are correct.
And I remember
He's
the
his cousin.
Oh, that
It's his
is
cousin.
him.
in the
Wow.
in the big bad really in the in the movie is basically it was a race down Devil's Backbone,
Yeah.
and so for dramatic naming,
Yeah, Hannah, you nailed it. Good job.
I need to see if that's on a streaming service somewhere
I forgot
because
that was the thing.
that should be like we need to review
I think
that
Brink
movie.
is, which is another one of those
Mhm.
Yeah.
inline skate movies from that same time.
Yeah,
I think
we'll have
that
to
one
see.
is.
I think Brink was the Disney movie. I don't know if Airborne.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah, I need to look and see if
was
Airborne
the
is on a
Disney
streaming
version.
service.
Right.
No Devil's Backbone.
No doubt. So, yeah, I remember that movie.
Only
I remember
Ghost's
those.
Backbone.
I thought he was a hockey player too, or something. I can't remember. Maybe there's just a lot of hockey.
His
in my
cousin
life,
was a
so-
hockey
So
player.
at some point, I just
Maybe
Yes.
the school was big.
was
into
Seth Green a
hockey
hockey
or something.
player?
I watched this movie far too many times.
He
his
remembers.
cousin his cousin was a hockey player, and some of the big bads that they were going against were hockey players.
Mhm.
And I think he played hockey because his cousin they needed help or something, and maybe he scored on the wrong side or something. And
I need to
Yeah.
find this. I need to find this movie.
yeah,
We need to watch this.
I just the thing about those movies were like they made rollerblading look so cool, which is the whole reason why I had rollerblades as a kid. But the craziest part of it is they make them not look very heavy
Right.
Right.
because they carry them around on their backpacks like it's no big deal.
Mhm.
There's no way.
Yeah, but if
Right,
they're
those
also
batteries
playing
in the
hockey
truck.
and stuff, they probably did training, so they're used to all that weight.
That's true. Good point. Good point.
There we go. Sorry, charging Xbox battery.
I had rollerblades, and I was not good.
I did as well, and I was also not very good at it.
I remember I was skating down the driveway in between our cars, and I wasn't paying attention, and I just like ran right into the side view mirror and like clipped myself and fell down. I thought I broke the mirror, but it had just like folded in. But
I just broke myself
That's-
instead.
that's how I learned that the mirror's folded in.
I was so relieved.
Not all of them do.
Right? I was like, oh no.
My first car did not. It had big metal brackets that came out that held them on. It would
Oh.
have turned, but you would have bent the bracket all off and hurt yourself traumatically.
This was like a minivan or something. It was like
Yeah.
my mom's, but yeah.
So, alrighty.
I'm gonna have to watch Airborne now.
Right.
It's true.
I just remember him getting off the plane with his surfboard and everyone making fun of him because why would he have a surfboard?
In Iowa or wherever he's at.
Wherever
Yeah.
he was, yeah. All right. Coming on Xbox Game Pass. I know who added this to the agenda because it's.
I don't know what
pretty
you're talking
clear.
about.
Psychonauts, Final Fantasy X and X2 HD remaster, as well as Just Cause 4, Red Dead Online, and Remnant from the Ashes are all on Xbox Game Pass as of about 9 days ago.
But we only care about one game.
Psychonauts.
I
It's
mean,
true.
a little bit. I may or may not be about 5 hours in. I'm to the Milkman Conspiracy, which is one of my favorite levels of any game in the history of games. It's incredible.
Awesome.
I've been watching him play, and I remember watching him the first time it came out, and I don't know if I forgot or just never put any of it together. But watching him now, I'm like, this game is such a trip. It's just what's going on, like in everyone's mind.
Just wait for 2.
But it's all of like the subconscious, like weird stuff that goes on in your mind that you don't really.
I mean, that may not be the best way to phrase it, but yeah.
That's what it looked like.
I
to
mean, the
me.
whole concept is
You were getting chased or something by Girl Scout cookie people, and
so the concept is you can
man,
essentially use these little psychic doors because you're at a psychic camp where people learn how to control their powers and whatnot to go into people's subconscious, and the levels are based on, well, their internal minds. So one of the characters is this kind of a ex-military guy, and so he's the introduction, and his level's all just this like barren basically a war field. You know, there's explosions all over the place, but it's definitely suited to, you know, that type of environment. And then there's this lady who is still living in the 70s, and it's just this crazy psychedelic dance party. And then what she's talking about is, again, the Milkman conspiracy. There's this guy that is a conspiracy theorist, and his level is like an MC Escher painting. It's just constantly spinning around on itself, and it's a basic neighborhood, but there's little cameras that pop up all over the place, like somebody's watching you.
Yeah,
And there's these
black agent people.
Yeah, and there's these secret agents, and the puzzle is the agents tell you what they're doing based on whether they're holding like a stop sign or a telephone or something. And in order to blend in with them, you have to have the same little item. You find those throughout the level. But there's also these little girls that are Girl Scout cookies, or selling Girl Scout cookies, and you're trying to find the milkman, and apparently you have to have milk for cookies, and I don't know, it's again, it's a twisted conspiracy, and you do end up in a book depository at some point. There's all kinds of, you know, crazy innuendos with, you know, you killed somebody, you didn't kill somebody, and I don't know. It's twisted, yes, but it's really interesting. That's
Very
all I'm saying.
Tim Burton-ish.
It is very Tim Burton-ish, yes.
Nice. Very cool. Something that is not Tim Burton-ish is pretty much anything Nintendo. Nintendo style Wholesome Direct is going to highlight 75 indie games in a Nintendo style event. New titles will be revealed, exclusive footage will be shown off. This is from Wholesome Games. This will be June 12th. 75 games. I don't know that I've ever it says there are more, quote, wholesome games than ever. Smaller compact stories, introspective experiences, which I assume the Milkman Conspiracy is one of those, very introspective. And so that will be June 12th. Because we talk a lot about different indie games here. Normally Sam tells us all about the good ones. And so I've never heard of itch.io. I'm not sure that I would really Google that and feel okay about it.
Facebook is always trying to get me to watch it.
It's just another platform.
Yep.
But it's more dedicated to
Snake.
yes, it's more dedicated to Snake. No, it's been typically more dedicated to kind of, I mean, I'm going to say indie in the traditional sense. You know, we see a lot of indie games now that are really polished, and, you know, you've got like Stardew Valley and, you know, games that really take off. Shovel Knight, you know, they've got this really strong theme and they execute well in every way, but itch.io has a lot more of the experimental stuff that you kind of associate with indie games, which is, you know, not always complete, sometimes a little bit shady. But they have been trying to kind of, you know, give back to developers, and they had an event recently where they specifically gave all proceeds for the day to the developers. So that's pretty cool. But part of the reason that I posted this is I found like 4 or 5 different articles about completely different things, but all with references to this game called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
We've talked about this. We mentioned it one time, I think a long time ago in one of the indie things. Now, did you buy it? Have you played it?
I have not bought it yet. I have not played it yet. But apparently it's taken off. Because, again, it's referenced in pretty much, I think it was in the Nintendo one. I know it's in the itch.io one. And then there were 2 or 3 others that I just kind of threw out because I was like, no, we can't just sit around talking about tax evasion for an hour.
Sure we can.
But yes, that is definitely something I'm
It was a
going to be
Turnip
picking
Boy.
up.
Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. We'll expect a full review.
Yeah. Actually, it's a really short game, apparently, so I may just stream the whole thing.
Is that because he goes to jail? The game's over with.
Game's over. That was it.
Nice.
Not a lot to it.
What was that one game we found? It was like, Honey, I Joined a Cult. That's not on itch.io or whatever.
That's
But
pretty
it was
amazing.
pretty funny.
Steam was doing a sale for Team 17 published games, and they're the ones that did
Worms.
The Escapists, where you're trying to escape from jail. And this is a very similar visual theme, except you're running a cult.
It
Well,
looked to me
as you
like
do.
a
So-
Stardew Valley type, except for instead of trying to like build and make your farm bigger, you're building and making a cult.
Cult bigger.
Yeah.
Video
we haven't.
games.
We're not going to be reviewing that one.
We haven't bought it, but I did laugh a lot at the trailer.
I feel like our Murder Storm story should now be a video game. Like, really should.
It could be one of those point and click adventure games.
It's true.
Oh, don't say that. That'd be really easy. We could totally do that.
So when it's beginning, it is Vault of Glass Day for Destiny. There are, as of now, 2 confirmed clears going for. So Vault of Glass has been out before, and so Destiny always does this big world's first thing, world's first to finish the raid. But the thing is, like, Vault of Glass has already been done before, and so what they've done is they changed some of the mechanics, not a ton, but there are 2 teams who have cleared, and then once you clear it, you have to go back through challenge mode and complete a specific set of triumphs. That will be the world's first. So really, you're going to have to get 2 clears, and get the triumph. So don't know what the triumphs are. Haven't looked at it, but there are 2 teams apparently who are hot after it right now. So could be
It's pretty cool though that they made it a little bit of a challenge. You know,
could be very interesting.
I did see the update where they said they were going to, or where they had disabled
Star
the
Eaters.
ability to push the boss off the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah.
tweeted. They very much disappointment. They had tweeted that they're like, we just now learned that there are some strategies or whatever you could push the boss off the ledge. If you do that, you'll be disqualified. Here's the thing: anybody who's going for who's not going for world's first, you know exactly what they're gonna do. They're just gonna bop him off. Like, it still counts as a completion. Now that won't be allowed in our group.
Work smarter, not harder.
That's right.
Well, and they did say that if you do that, you're disqualified.
You're
at this
disqualified
point.
from world's first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see who comes up first. But yeah, it's very cool. It looks really, really amazing. What people are realizing now is in Destiny 2, you actually have a field of view that you can, adjust and whatever. In Destiny 1, you didn't. It was a fixed view. And so they're like, man, this looks so different. It's like, yeah, because you have a field of view, you can actually see it, and it's not right here, it's here. So lots of people out there doing day 1 raids right now. So I'm going to take my shot Monday night, I think, with the group. So
Do we know if they fixed the crossplay yet?
okay, so they did. So what they've done, so when they launched the new season, they accidentally launched crossplay. Didn't mean to. Oops, my bad. And it broke a lot of things. But what they are doing is, I believe it's next weekend. It's not this weekend. Maybe it's next weekend. I'll have to look. They are doing a beta test of they built a specific strike playlist for crossplay. And so crossplay will be enabled just for that playlist, like over a weekend. And so there will be, so they're starting to put it together. So it's actually a real thing. So it'll be very interesting. I'm definitely going to jump in there and see, one, you get a cool emblem if you do like 3 or 5 crossplay strike playlists. So, should be fun. It'll be cool to get all of that there. So,
For sure.
all right, lots of DC news. As you can imagine, I'm very thrilled that a new Batman animated series from J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves is coming to HBO Max with a heavy involvement for one Bruce Timm. So I am very excited about that. This will be the closest thing we get back to Batman the Animated Series. They have received a straight-to-series order for Batman Caped Crusader for HBO Max. So it is billed as a reimagining of the Batman mythology. So that's just one more thing that Matt Reeves has his hands in. So he's he's becoming the Kevin Feige of the Batman universe.
If they let him.
If they let him. That's very true. And since J.J. Abrams has been talking about doing this, they're also doing another Superman animated series as well, which may explain the J.J. Abrams involvement since he was going to be doing a new Superman movie. So they released a teaser poster as well. It's pretty cool looking. So the Superman animated is called My Adventures with Superman. Has Jack Quaid from The Boys. He is voicing Clark Kent. So this one is described as a kids and family animated series following 20-something versions of Superman, Lois, and Jimmy Olsen as they begin to discover who they are and everything they can accomplish together as an investigative reporting team at the Daily Planet. So it's more traditional animation look, but Batman has that very dark deco look to it based on the teaser poster. So that's pretty awesome. I'm very excited about that.
And what is that coming to?
HBO Max for Batman, Cartoon Network for Superman. So,
Okay.
there has
It's
been
an interesting choice.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
mean,
family friendly, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
yeah. Somebody released the pictures of the Batman, the Arbats, Sparkle Bats Batman movie, and it is an official 2022 calendar. It shows off a bunch of different things, including some more details in the costume, but it also shows off the Riddler, and he looks creepy as all hell.
He looks more like Scarecrow to me.
I agree.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And so this might be more of a like Seven style serial killer.
Yeah, a
Oof.
lot of were like comparing him to like the Zodiac. Was it the Zodiac?
Zodiac Killer.
Stuff like that, where he leaves little messages and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. We'll see what that
What if they go from being not dark enough to too dark?
to just man, DC, you just can't hit it. Like they're like, man, there's this, and we're just going all the way over here. Like they say, we're the dark universe, so we're just gonna go. Yeah, it's
Lean into it.
exactly just lean
Yeah, I
into it.
mean, you might as well.
I mean,
you know?
with the fact is you also have, there's the, you get the Long Halloween stuff that's coming, the Long Halloween animated that's coming out. And there was something else I thought that they had just announced, and I can't remember what it was. Hang on.
Injustice.
The Injustice movie. Thank you.
Huh.
There is an Injustice movie
I'm excited
They-
for that one.
that got announced by DC as part of their Elseworlds tale. So, like, Elseworlds is like a multiverse type thing.
Is that going to be live action or cartoon
Cartoon.
or animated?
Animated.
Okay.
Warner Brothers Home Entertainment has confirmed that an Injustice animated movie will be the next title in the studio's slate of animated films. There will be a sneak peek of the film available as part of Batman the Long Halloween Part 2.
Very
So
cool.
they are working on it. Because there is so much you could do with Injustice. Just because, like, those games are a lot of fun. Like,
Yeah.
just because you have all the different storylines, you've got like Brainiac and all this other stuff that you could do. People have been asking for an Injustice movie for a long time. I didn't know, it'd be cool if we got like a live action, but I'll take animated. Like, I'm not going to complain about this.
They seem like they have more freedom with their animated. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
and the comic run was really good too
Yeah.
for Injustice.
Yep. Speaking of animated as well, one of my favorite animated characters of all time, Long Live Skeletor.
The images I've seen of this show look amazing.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
excited.
agree.
It looks better than Thundercat, remake that they did.
Mm-hmm. So voicing none other than Skeletor is the incomparable Mark Hamill, which I'm so excited about. Now the question is, are we going to get a Joker Skeletor? Because anytime he voices anything, I can just hear it. Like, it's just there, just enough. Like, I hear the Joker in a lot of what he does voice wise, and that's not a complaint. And for Skeletor, I think it's probably perfect.
I agree.
And he had talked about, Kevin Smith is the one doing Masters of the Universe. They've been tweeting pictures of new action figures and stuff like that. I am very excited to confirm that Moss Man is getting another action figure I don't know if there's actual moss on him or not, like there used to be back in the day with that like velour stuff. I am very disappointed that I have yet to see a patchouli infused Stinkor action figure, because that's important when it comes to He-Man action figure lore. Is that you literally could smell the action figure.
I don't know that they would do that though now with everybody having reactions to things.
I know,
It's a risk.
but
Yeah,
Put a
They just have
I
to-
don't.
Yeah,
put
they
a
just have to
warning
slap a
label on it.
warning.
contains
Who
patchouli
reads that
oil.
stuff though? You know,
But then they're not liable.
It's true. So,
true.
the crazy story was that he was talking to Mark Hamill was talking to Entertainment Weekly, and he had said that he was pretty much done with animation. He's like, yeah, he was just kind of done with it, wanting to step out. He's like, but when Kevin Smith came to him about Skeletor, he's like, how do I say no? Like, freaking Skeletor, man. Like, it's going to be so cool. And I like the fact that the images that we have seen out of it so far, like, they look like animation. They don't look like this, like, Pixar 3D design type whatever. Like, they look like animation, not like a more high definition animation than back in the day. But they still have that animated feel to it. So I really, do we know when it comes out? Does anybody know when it
I was
drops?
looking, but I didn't see a date.
Don't think we have one yet.
It's terrible.
I mean,
How do
it's
you-
exciting though.
Oh, yeah, it's
For sure it
exciting.
is.
I just
Yeah.
want I want to know when. I just want to know when this is going to happen. I need this in my life.
Well, if you like animation, I recommend the new Voltron as well.
Oh yeah.
It is good.
Yeah, is that the one on Netflix?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of it, but we watched. I think Harper and I probably watched maybe, I don't know, the whole first season maybe, and it was really pretty good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I got through Shadow and Bone on Netflix.
Is that good?
It's interesting. I don't quite know how I feel about it.
Is that the one where
Interesting.
they go through like the dark, whatever it
Into
is?
the Fold.
Okay,
It's a whole series of books, apparently.
Mhm.
and
Like-
what is it called? What are the books called?
I have no idea.
Shadow and Bone.
Shadow and Bone.
Probably could be. Here's the thing. I don't dislike it. Like, because I finished it and it was 8 episodes. It is a pretty interesting story. It's how do you put this? Like, almost post-apocalyptic, but like magical human beings or beings with magical powers are like, it's a thing. Like, it is not an uncommon thing, but they are not always viewed favorably. So you have this like world where magic users, or whatever you want to call them, are not necessarily looked after or whatever. Of course, because it's magic, there's a prophecy that may or may not look to be fulfilled. I hear Mojo outside the door. Here is sort of a young adult type thing as well. So you have some of that young adult, like,
The chosen one.
yes, kind of that and an emotional, I don't want to call it teenage romance because they're older than that, but
I'm sure there is like a love triangle or something.
oh no, oh yeah, I mean and
One of the
I know the
reviews.
tropes.
One of the reviews on Audible for it is people are dumb. This book was not.
And my just guessing that does not mean that it's bad or anything. It's just there's
Yeah.
a formula to.
Oh, for
like
that
Twilight
time.
in the 18th century Russia.
It's
I'm
true.
just reading the titles.
Yeah, there is a lot of, there's a lot of Russian names, things like that. But there's another set of books that happen in the same universe. They call it the Grisha-verse. That's what they call magic users, is Grishas.
Yeah,
Um,
like the Six of Crows. Is that
Six
Yeah,
of
and so
Crows.
some
Yeah,
of
so it's
those
disappointing going
characters-
to stick with Six of Crows.
Some of those characters have been basically inserted into this story, so you're kind of telling 2 stories at once. And I actually like those characters more than I like the main characters.
Is it? Or is Six of Crows by the same person?
I believe so.
But it's a different. Just from my googling, it's a different set, and it's like I guess that those books are said to be more of like a heist type.
Yeah, it's a
Or-
crew of like, and you have some very entertaining characters in said crew. But yeah, it's interesting. It's one of those things like watch the first couple episodes, see if you like it. But I finished it up and
Here's a review that makes me think Hannah wrote it. And I mean that with all respect. Twilight,
All due
but
respect.
Twilight, but with pointless magic. Ugh, another love triangle book. Hey, let's make a lead female character completely useless and dependent on the male leads for everything. My eyes got stuck in a permanent eye roll for the last act. Will not continue the series. If you're into teenage frustration, then this book is for you.
That does sound like something I would say.
I know.
Yep, that's her.
It probably means I shouldn't read the series.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of looking. I'm not.
you do.
I'm
get-
indifferent,
You
but
do have that. You do have that female main. His main character is female, who you do have that sort of like male compatriot reliance or whatever. But I think it is best for what I can tell so far in the story is that it's being placed there as like an obstacle, not like they're relying on. This is a this
So-
I thought I needed this, but then I don't need this. Like
Oh, okay.
Like character development,
yeah, something like that.
unlike Twilight.
Yeah. So
Unlike
it's interesting. It's
She
worth
never
a.
learned, and she never got better. And I will never forget.
I will never forget.
but
I
then
will
she
never-
became a Charlie's Angel, so it's okay.
Uh,
Oh boy.
Twilight is the only book series I could not finish. Usually, even if I don't like the book, I will continue it just to finish it. I couldn't.
Yeah, like,
I
Each
could
book-
not. I tried to read it. Nope.
Each book.
The part that got me was like I didn't want to read it from anyone's perspective. I wanted the story to be told, I guess.
Mhm.
Kind of like how a movie is, but it was all from her perspective, and like I couldn't do it.
I
It just-
kept like I read the first book and then I was like, okay, well, it's just setting stuff up. She'll have character development. She'll get better. And then I read the second book and I was like, I don't think she's getting better. And where are her parents? That's how you know you're getting old. And I'm like, but where are her parents? She has missed like 6 months worth of school and she's just been in bed this whole time. She clearly needs help. No one is helping her. And then I read the third book because I was like, well,
she's still in bed.
maybe. And that didn't get better. And
now she's in the woods.
right, that was the part that got me. When they break up and he takes her to the woods and he breaks up with her in the woods and then he just leaves her and she gets lost in the woods. I was like, what in the world? Like I yelled out too, and he was like, in a different room, and I was just like, if you ever leave me in the woods, it is over. I will not come back for you, because then he gets himself into whatever stupid trouble he does, and she's like immediately goes to try and rescue him, and I was like, I am not rescuing you. If you leave me, we're done.
You leave me in the woods like they
Wow.
did in Twilight. I cannot.
And I was like,
Sam,
that's
blink
the
if you're
limit.
okay.
Yeah.
Actual conversation.
And
She's
then
not
Lynn-
kidding.
Lynn replied back, he was like, maybe you don't need to be reading those books. And I quit reading it because I was like, well, there's one book left. But before, clearly surely the next book has to be better. Like they have to learn, like that was not working. It was not happening. So I was like, before I read this other book, let me just look up the summary of it. And I read whatever summary of their pregnancy, and I was like, no, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
They're what now?
I can't. Like their whole explanation of that, not saying, but just the way she explained it and set it up, I was like, nope, I can't do it. I'm not doing this.
The only thing I know about the last like part of it or whatever is that literally like there's this big like climactic scene and like
There's an
there is
echo all of a
death
sudden.
everywhere. I don't know whose it is.
It was when you were talking.
I hear it with you too.
Okay.
I just hear
Bueller?
it with Kev.
Bueller. I don't know. Maybe it's
I
because I
All
hit
right.
the button.
Sorry, Kev.
Do we still have an echo? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay, cool. The only thing I know about the end of like there's this big anticlimactic scene or climactic scene, and like
Oh, you were right the first time.
and a lot of people. Yes, that's true. And a lot of people die. Like a lot of main characters like get their heads ripped off. Like everything you want to happen to some of these people, right? I assume, and the whole thing was like a vision, like a dream or whatever. Like that's what they went with.
I've just
So.
never hated two main characters more than those two. And he would sit outside in a tree of her window and watch her sleep. And I'm just like, how is this not a red flag? Where did your parents go wrong? Like, I've never been so angry before. I'm like, that is not love. That is not healthy. Don't do that. Anyway,
Sam, are there woods by your house?
We're much closer now than we were.
just don't
But,
leave me in them.
Yeah, don't read anything into that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, as long as we can take walks in the woods, just don't break up with me and then leave me in the woods and then get yourself into trouble and expect me to come help you. Clearly, you don't care about me in that situation. Why am I going to do the same?
I mean, not wrong.
Oh boy.
But
It's got deep, and I didn't wear my boots.
but that aside, if you were just got yourself into a situation, no woods involved, then I would gladly go and help you
Thank you.
to the end of the earth,
What if
the end of the line, as long as you
To the end
don't
of the
dump me
line.
off in the woods.
you leave her at a city park? You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm already. Here's the other thing. I'm already directionally challenged. I'm not coming out of those woods.
And then Sam's gonna end up on some like A&E TV show because everyone's gonna think he murdered you because you never came out of the woods, or if you did, it's like some other direction, and you never found your way home.
Mm-mm.
Never.
He's gonna be
So-
on first 48.
So I'm just saying, if you do have to break up with me, just don't do it in the woods.
Gee. Sam's like,
What?
What are you even talking? Wow. Okay, we're gonna get this back on track.
No, this is the new podcast. Marriage
Don't
counseling
leave
for
Hannah in the
14-year-olds.
I'm just saying, like, I could obviously joke about that because I know Sam is not going to leave me. But in some hypothetical,
Right, Sam.
Right.
else
Blink, blink,
world
blink.
type, scenario, just don't
Oh
leave me in the woods.
boy.
Don't ask.
I mean,
for
that's a universal thing. I think we can tell everybody. Do not leave people in the woods.
It's true. Unless you're
There
being
is a whole show set on that premise.
It's called
Is there?
Twilight.
No, yeah, there is. Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
a
No,
whole
the
show.
Grylls.
Couple of shows actually.
But he is
Lost
with
and
them.
Afraid. Naked, Lost and Afraid.
But he is with them to help them, and they know signing up for it that they will be over there doing this.
True.
It-
True.
When they
This
get
was
to
not.
like season like 19 or whatever it is, because there was like Running Wild with Bear Grylls. Now he used to do it by himself. Now he does it with celebrities, and he talks to them or whatever. It's actually very entertaining. Like they did one with Danny Trejo, and that dude's like 70 some odd years old. Like if they really wanted to mix it up, it's literally like, because they always do some big thing, like he's come in on a jetpack before. Usually he comes in with a helicopter or something, something very Bear Grylls. And you go and he does that. He's like, and they take the helicopter and they drops him off on top of the mountain. He's like, I'm out, and just jumps off with a parachute and leaves the celebrity there. Like, okay, now you got to find your way home. That's television.
Wow.
That's like season 19. They're like, we're literally out of ideas. We can only cross so many caverns, scale down so many walls, like eat so many bugs.
Yeah.
That's what they got to do.
But
When are we
think
going to do that?
Think of the emotional walls that they scale when they're put in that situation.
That's really the basis of the show. I mean, you're really not wrong, actually, which makes it pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, it's they had Bobby Bones was on.
Yeah,
last
I was
week.
about to say
Bobby Bones and his fiance.
Misty's guy.
Yep.
Bobby
So,
Bones.
so Netflix is talking about they want their own MCU. Unless Netflix has bought a bunch of things like Shadow and Bone, like rights to big like universes. And so, like Bright, like we've talked about multiple times, Bright was supposed to be one of those things, this big universe or whatever.
So many unanswered questions.
Yep.
And so much to explore.
And so, and there's so many, like, and they have all of these movies like Six Underground, Extraction, Spencer Confidential, Old Guard, Project Power, like that are setting up these universes.
Bushwick. Bushwick sets up a whole set of movies, and it's just done.
Bushwick Chronicles, like the one based off of the
No.
books? Oh.
Like the one with it's not Ashley White. Brittany Snow. That's what it is. Brittany
Oh.
Snow. And oh my gosh, Batista.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just called Bushwick. And it's essentially kind of like a world-ending situation has occurred, an uprising has occurred, and it's just an all-out survival kind of a thing. Not bad, and then it ends, and then you're like, wait, what? Wait, time out. That's the ending. That really makes me mad because then you don't know what happens. Like
Mhm.
they're trying to get to a place, and then the movie just ends, and so it's kind of. I don't know. There was another one with Forrest Whitaker in it where the world was ending. Same deal. They're getting there, and the movie's just done.
You never
That's
know.
it.
But they're
Hate
doing
it.
another one of the Sandra Bullock one where you can't look.
Oh, what was that called?
I can't remember.
Something about birds.
Yes, to tie this back to beginning. Bird something.
Oh,
Anyway,
No, it
yeah,
was, wasn't
Joan
it?
watched that one.
It
I
was.
did
You're not
watch it.
wrong. I can't remember what it was called though.
right.
Yeah,
I just remember
Joni
seeing
did
the-
not watch it,
the
or Joni watched
picture
it. I did not.
Bird
of her
Box,
with the kids.
Bird
Yeah.
Box.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Because remember afterwards they were having
which
to
is
tell
really
people,
relevant to what we
don't-
talked about earlier.
Don't bird box in real life while you're driving.
Oh.
They're making
so-
another Quiet Place, so
Yeah, Quiet Place
yeah,
2
we've got
just
room for
came
more
out.
Bird Box.
And so Netflix is looking potentially at buying Paramount, which would not be a small acquisition, but they own the rights to all the Valiant heroes. So, Bloodshot did not do well at the theater.
Is anybody shocked?
No, not at all. But it was also like that was also either the beginning of or in the middle of the pandemic, and they thought, oh, Bloodshot will be the thing to bring people back. Like, because they did a day and date where you could watch it on like at home at the same day or something like that. So Netflix is looking to buy their own type studio stuff, and so, yeah, I don't. Here's the crazy thing: Paramount has been valued at about $4 billion in the past, which is less than 25% of the amount Netflix is spending on original content this year alone.
That's crazy.
So,
So if they buy Paramount,
mhm.
then there's no need to buy the Paramount streaming service,
I mean, yeah,
right? Wouldn't all
Yeah.
that stuff go to Netflix?
everything would just go to Netflix. Now, Paramount does have Transformers and Mission Impossible.
I mean, that's all you need is more Transformers.
Absolutely.
Listen, Transformers is the Fast and the Furious of alien robots.
No doubt.
It's true.
No doubt.
I would
very
wager that we're going to see Fast and Furious, Transformers,
Jurassic Park crossover.
Jurassic Park Cross. Yeah, I mean, technically we've
Oh,
got
Could
the
you?
Transformer robot from Hobbs and Shaw, and then we've got Owen on the motorcycle with the Raptors in Jurassic World. It's pretty much already written itself. It's just
Could you imagine
Get
real
Vin Diesel in there.
dinosaurs versus the Transformer dinosaurs?
Dinobots, yes.
I believe there might have been a
Grimlock.
cartoon about that.
well, we need the live action,
Yes, I want the
live
live
I
action
agree.
Transformer.
I
with
agree.
The Rock riding one of them.
And
There you
Marky
go.
Mark riding the other.
Yes.
What if the recreation of the dinosaurs was a signal to the universe that we were ready for a higher level of warfare? And that's how they get it together.
Clearly, we're onto something.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Just like messing with the Tesseract.
Or okay, guys, the new
Okay.
one. They're supposed to go to space, right?
They discover the Autobots.
They discover them, or the
There you
all
go.
spark thing.
Believe that was the premise of the first movie about why they never came back from the dark side of the moon. You remember that? Wasn't that in that? Or is that a different movie?
No, there is
Might be,
I mean,
yeah.
there is a Transformers Dark Side of the Moon.
I think that's the second movie, maybe.
Second or I can't remember.
Gotcha.
I'm
I
with
haven't
you.
watched
Like
it in
they
a
get the
while.
Allspark, and they
Yeah.
just implant it in Vin Diesel, and he becomes Optimus Prime.
Okay.
There you go.
Like
Okay,
There
let's
you go.
go
But he
on
has
this.
to be driving a semi when you do it.
Optimus Prime is all about like family and keeping his people together. How is it not this Optimus Prime, Dominic Toretto, same character? Calling it
Okay.
right now.
Let's bring in one more. And when
Okay.
they go to the moon,
Oh,
they
no.
also find Captain America there.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, good call.
I really thought you were going to say one of the Golden Girls.
Oh, before we get to the Golden Girls, because there is Golden Girls in this, one of the franchises Netflix does have is The Witcher. Henry Cavill in The Witcher. The article says that he is in talks to, but his own Instagram basically contradicts that and basically said, "Hey, guess what? I'm the new Highlander." So on his Instagram,
I
Henry
can see
Cavill
it.
posted, "Very exciting news today. I've been a fan of Highlander since I was a lad from the movies in all of their 80s. Queen slathered glory to the TV show with an actor who looked remarkably like one of my brothers. Being not shy with swords and having a talented director is Chad Stileski, who also did John Wick, I believe, at the helm.
It's gonna be so
This is an opportunity like no other. Deep diving into franchise storytelling with all the tools at our disposal. It's going to make an adventure I and hopefully all of you shall never forget. And as you can see from this swipe, I've been dipping into some of my Scottish heritage, inadvertently getting my baseline research underway." So Henry
Second the
Cavill's
only
your new
one.
Connor McLeod.
Is it going to be Connor McLeod, Duncan McLeod, or is
The-
it going to be a different McLeod?
The
It's
picture
gonna be
he
a brand new McLeod.
the picture he posted was Connor McLeod.
Very true.
I
The
mean,
original
maybe.
Highlander.
Yeah.
I mean, he could technically just have renamed himself because he's been around for millions of years.
It's true.
Well, no, in-game solved that problem for Highlander. And I don't mean in-game Marvel. I mean in-game Highlander.
I was like, tell me more.
Yeah, no, there is. I mean in-game Highlander.
No, it's all the same universe now.
Yes, it's
True. Now, I love it. The only thing that they have to do in the series, and this is an absolute must, only because I absolutely love Highlander. It was the first real show besides like Star Trek and Star Wars that I really liked. Is in order for the relationship stuff to occur, he has to say his name, and that's it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that's how it happens in every movie
For
and
He
every
has to
TV
say
show.
it is for bedroom shenanigans. It's like, "I'm Connor McLeod from the Clan McLeod, and I've been
Yep.
alive for 400 years." And
Yep.
then bow chicka
Boom.
wow wow. That's all
Yeah,
it takes.
there it is.
Check a
But it
while.
has,
So
to, it has to end. Each episode would then have to end with there can only be one.
Oh, well, for sure. I mean, somebody's got to lose their head at some
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Because then you're tying in the movie and the series in the remake.
okay, so you have to think about this. Assuming that this is going to be basically a reboot or a replay, that it's going to tie to the original. So Sean Connery, Kurgan, like who plays the Ramirez role? Who is the new Sean Connery to his Connor McLeod? I mean,
That's a tough one because
The
I don't
mentor-
know.
I don't think this
mentor-
world has another Sean Connery.
you're not wrong about that.
And I don't know that anybody could play that character that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you mean a Spanish prince with a Scottish accent?
With a Japanese sword.
With
No.
a Japanese
That was
sword?
kind of his MO. No matter what, he's always had his accent.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like
He's in Hunt for Red October. He was a Russian with a Scottish.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, who is because here's the thing, like Sean Connery wasn't young even when he did Highlander. Like he passed recently when he was like 90 something, but
Yeah.
What about what's his name?
Mark
he's
Hamill.
Evil. No, is it that
Evil.
Lars Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen. Why did I say
One
that?
of the Mickelsons?
Yeah. Or I
Phil
think
Mickelson.
Pedro Pascal would be a good Highlander, not Sean Connery, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah, he
a
would.
whole
but I
new.
don't.
Because of the Game of Thrones type.
He could make
Oh, yeah.
he would make a very interesting immortal for sure. Like I'm trying to think who would be the old mentor to Henry like, I mean, it would be funny if it was Ben Affleck. Why did you say that name?
Oh my
Right?
goodness.
What if it was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and they? Okay, like I don't
And they
remember.
had wings.
No, that would be great too.
I'm in.
No, like what if I don't remember Highlander enough to know if there's like warring clans or if they just wanted to kill people because there could only be one. But
I mean, yeah.
Well, when he
one
becomes
team is Ben Affleck and one team is Matt Damon and they're rivals.
I believe when Connor McLeod becomes immortal, if I remember
Sold.
correctly, his village is raided
Aw,
by
that's sad.
soldiers of another army, not necessarily another clan.
It was if I remember, I thought it
I
was
think
like
it was.
an open
I think
fe-
they
it
were
was an-
knights. I don't
yeah,
think they were
there was like an
clans.
open field type battle, and that's
Yeah.
where
Was
you
it
met
the
Kurgan for the
British?
first time.
Yeah, and they
Well,
stole
the British
his.
were really big on that.
They stole
Or
his
no,
woman.
I'm getting Braveheart mixed up with this. Yeah, it was another clan. It was like an open battle
Yeah.
thing, and they cast him out because he didn't die.
Yeah, that he basically was
Yeah.
mortally wounded, and then he didn't die. And
In my head, I was playing out how Braveheart happened.
I mean, I went to Ben Affleck, and then my brain went to Jeremy Irons from Alfred.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons would be. I was trying to think of older
I
people.
mean, you could really do Andy Serkis. Like, he's old and cranky. He has to be cranky. Like, I don't know. Like, who else would? I'm going back through movies and like, I mean, Liam Neeson is an obvious choice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a particular set of
Listen,
skills.
I have a particular set of skills. Like they just lean into everyone who's in the movie. They just lean into their other movies so hard. It's like, yeah, I have a particular set of skills. Makes me a nightmare for people like you. Like I will.
Keep your head.
So,
Michael Sheen might be good. He's not
I like
really
that
old,
choice.
but
I like that choice a lot.
he can play crazy well.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we need to see him in more stuff.
yeah.
But then that makes me just think that David Tennant needs to be in it too.
So
I mean,
Yeah, I
he's
don't
got the
know.
accent.
I don't know.
yeah,
I guess it depends kind of what they do.
Yeah, so that's
He's got the accent, and he's played a very, very old character.
Twice.
And they need to make
Twice.
sure that the Queen theme song is somehow integrated.
Right.
there. If it
Every
is,
Kind of
episode
like
has a
Power
theme
Rangers
song.
did when you walked out
Right.
and hated it forever.
God, ruined that
Go, go,
movie
Power Rangers.
because that was the only problem with that movie.
It did not ruin the movie.
Ruined that movie.
Oh my goodness. As if retelling the same story about a character every single movie doesn't ruin the movie.
It
I
doesn't.
don't know what you're talking
It doesn't.
about.
Every time I
Martha.
learn something new, Martha. But here's the thing: like you cannot do an original Highlander movie and not keep that Queen soundtrack. You can't do
Right.
it. Like
Right.
maybe they're remakes with modern bands or something, but I don't know if they'd even let that happen. Like
Ooh.
that
The
made
band that did it for was it
That-
Suicide Squad? It was like Fallout Boy or something like
21
that.
Pilots?
I don't think it was
Mm.
them. No, there was a
John Mayer.
it was a there's a movie that came out here recently and they redid a Queen song and
Was it the
I'm-
Ghostbusters? Fall Out Boy to the Ghostbusters.
no, I'll find it. Hang on. Because I have it on my phone. I just have to find it. Sounded just like it sounded just
You would.
like Queen.
The lead singer, I could see him being able to pull off.
So,
Oh, it was Panic at the Disco, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Suicide
yeah.
Squad.
He would.
Okay.
Yeah.
They-
So like
them
if they were
and
going to redo it, that's who it would need to be.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if
The
you have
high
the ability
hopes.
to use the original Queen music, why change it? Like
Exactly.
that.
I mean, they
made
even
that-
carried it over into the TV show.
Mhm. Yep.
You know,
Mm.
yeah. How do you not do that?
Yeah. So hopefully they stick with that, and the fact that he even talked about, all of their '80s Queen slathered glory. Like, hopefully that means that they're gonna get. Of course, here's the thing: getting licensing to Queen music now, after Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff like that, versus 10 years ago, probably a little more expensive.
But this is a song that they made for the show. It's not something. I mean, it wasn't like a song they pulled from an album. Like
Princess
it's
of
made
the Uni-
specifically for Highlander.
I think Princess of the Universe predates that.
Does
I'm
it?
almost positive.
Let's look. Consulting the Googles, because you may be right. I just always assumed that it was.
I may be wrong about that, but
You can watch the Highlander series on Amazon Prime.
This is very important.
That's
19
not
That is very
Princess-
important because I need to make sure that that happens.
Princess of the
I
Universe,
think you have to rent it
1986.
when it's there.
Okay.
Well, Highlanders have been around forever, so clearly.
Yeah. I wonder if it was part of the original Highlander soundtrack at some point. I
The
don't
song
remember.
was written for the film Highlander and released on an album, King of Magic.
But
which
it wasn't
also-
used in, was it used
So they
in-
wrote the song specifically for the show.
for the movie
Yeah, for the
And then-
movie.
and
Yeah.
then used it in the show. Love it.
And then released it on on an album as well
Sweet.
in '86.
I'm excited for this. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a quality.
apparently they
Highlander,
also
and by
did-
a long time. I mean anything after the first one.
Yeah, and apparently they also did several other songs too that I didn't realize for the Highlander soundtrack.
Who
Or
Wants to Live-
Highlander movie.
Who wants to live
Yeah.
forever, I think is there too. But let's not,
Oh yeah, maybe.
let's not also forget that they also did the theme for Flash Gordon.
Yes, they did. Oh my gosh, I did not realize that when I was a kid and watching it, and then I kind of stumbled onto it as an adult. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yep, it's awesome.
Flash.
That's right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's right.
That's Flash Gordon, folks.
Yep.
The other thing, yeah, what was I going to say? I lost
There
it.
could be
It'll
another
come
one.
back to me in a minute.
So to circle back to the Golden Girls, the only people older than Highlander himself, is I'm convinced that Betty White is immortal. So
I hope Betty White is immortal. If
I do,
anyone
I-
deserves to be.
So this article is titled, this is from the Nerdist. It said, "The Golden Girls inspired Justin Lin's Fast and Furious movies." I haven't read the article because I just wanted to read it verbatim with what he
Because
says.
they're such good friends.
He says, quote, "The
They're
Golden Girls are part of the Fast lore because when I was a kid, I loved Golden Girls. Saturday nights, it was Golden Girls, Empty Nest, and then it was Nurses. They had this thing called Hurricane Saturday Night. All 3 episodes got hit by a hurricane. This is the first time where I was like,
remember
oh,
that.
they all exist in the same universe. That was the inspiration for Fast 5. We brought back all the characters. They all existed in the same universe. That's the Golden Girls connection."
There you go.
I remember the hurricane episode though.
That's awesome.
Why just her shirt says, "I'm ready, take me, Hurricane."
Take me back, Brett. Oh, Golden Girls. All right, one last piece of really random news. Who here likes Pop-Tarts? Oh,
I just
a
looked at
fan.
the agenda.
Oh no, I didn't
Mojo
look
just
at the
dumped-
agenda.
Well,
What
you're about to see it, I have a feeling, so don't
did
stress.
something bad happen to Pop Tarts?
no.
Yes,
Yes,
something
something bad.
terrible happened to Pop Tarts.
Is this gonna mean I can't eat Pop Tarts anymore?
Most
Here-
likely.
Here's
Okay.
the,
Likely.
here's the
Okay.
title. Pop-Tarts unveiling their first ever mystery flavor.
Ugh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Earlier this year, this is from comicbook.com. Earlier this year, Twizzlers launched a mystery flavor, then Sour Patch Kids followed suit. I didn't realize Sour Patch Kids had actual flavors.
Right? There's sour.
Launching their own
But then
mystery
they're
flavor. Now, Pop Tarts are getting in on the guessing game with their very own first release mystery flavor. And fans can you hear Mojo barking
Yeah.
in the other
Yeah,
room?
it's all good.
Hold, please. We're gonna make sure he's not, eating the couch.
Oh.
Oh well, I'm pleasantly surprised that what I thought was going to happen didn't yet.
The
And you need to load that into the overlays. Go ahead.
I've been a fan of Pop Tarts. I used to eat the
Sorry,
I
for
think it
the
was
Mojo
like
sounds.
cherry or blueberry when I was a kid. Now I like the cinnamon sugar. S'mores are really good. I like those. They have a pretzel one, which is not as fantastic.
Gross. No way.
Yeah,
so-
it's like
It's pretzel bread instead
pretzel
of
dough. Yeah,
It's a Pop Tart?
yeah, it's a Pop Tart. Yeah.
What's in it?
Is it like
They had a
peanut
couple of
butter?
different ones.
Cheese?
No. It's like peanut butter, I think, is the one we got.
That's a great idea. We should write the Pop Tart
Right?
company. Be, hey, Kellogg's.
What?
Pretzels and cheese.
Help me here. There were two main like toaster things you put like for breakfast. It
Toaster
Toaster
strudels.
strudels.
Thank
Toaster
you.
strudels.
I could not remember
They
what
were
that
the
was.
fancy ones.
I ate the
Nice.
snot out of those when my parents would
Yeah,
buy them.
man.
Nice.
Oh
I
my
just wanted
gosh.
the icing.
So
We would take plain strawberry Pop Tarts, like no ice, no frosting, put them in the toaster, put butter on them when they came out.
Oh.
Oh
they
butter
my
put
makes
gosh.
everything
strawberry
better.
Pop-Tarts without icing?
Yeah,
I don't know if
do
they
make-
still do.
Yeah.
They did.
Do
Yeah.
they really?
Mhm.
Today I learned.
Oh my gosh. They're so good if you do it that way. I
With
promise.
butter on them, really?
hmm
Okay.
Get them a little bit on the
I don't doubt it.
heavier toasted side, and they're let the butter just soak in. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: like you put those in
You'll
the
be
toaster,
400 pounds in a week.
I'm
It's delicious.
Like
You
that's
guys,
that strawberry, like whatever it is on the inside, like can heat up to like 500 degrees. I'm convinced. Like the outside could be ice cold, and the inside is
It's like a hot-
496 degrees.
it's like a hot pocket.
Hot pocket.
It is a
Hot
breakfast.
pocket.
A Pop Tart is just a breakfast hot pocket.
Do you guys realize like what we're talking about? We grew up in the era where all that stuff came out, and
It
like
was
we set the
considered
trend for the
You're
junk
welcome.
food today.
You're welcome, world. You're welcome.
Like our generation was the test pilot to see if that food would kill us, and it didn't, and so it's still around.
Yet.
Yet.
Well,
I mean, there is still.
I feel like we're all at the age where at some point that's going to happen anyway, but we didn't die then.
You
True.
guys, I'm sitting in front of a window, and so I can see people like walking up and down the street. And there's these two kids, and they were on their bikes, and they were. A lot is happening in this window. And they were riding their bikes, and then they would stop, and then they would talk a little bit. But now they're riding their bikes, and they stopped, and they're just laying in the middle of the road. And then the weird look I just made was because I guess someone either lost a small dog or a very large cat, because something just came running past really fast, and I could see the leash like flying in the wind. And then I saw, like a little while later, I saw a lady come running, like clearly she was running after it.
I really hope it's a cat. Like she was walking her
She's
cat.
just walking a cat. Our neighbors across the street will walk. Their kid will walk the cat, and it just drags the cat down the road.
Oh,
It's the
boy.
funniest thing ever. I mean, it'll have a leash on the whole nine. It just drags.
Apparently, we need to get a second camera for a Hannah window cam so we can watch
Yeah.
this as it happens live.
The kids
This
are
is
up
true.
now. They've gotten back on their bikes and they've run off. They were probably confused by the cat.
Sam, you need to. Can you upload that picture, Sam?
It's in the folder.
Oh, is it?
Which
Yeah.
picture?
Look at the agenda, Cav. It wasn't there earlier.
Oh no!
This is what I was laughing at. That's what I thought you were gonna do.
Now I have.
I
to.
was like, great. Here we
here's-
go.
Here's what's amazing.
Presidential campaign ruined.
Here's what's amazing about that. That picture, like I didn't add that article until like the very last minute. Like Sam's been doing this while the show's been going on.
I mean, maybe a
I
little.
just saw it.
Yeah.
Well,
Mr.
what's
E
really funny
cleared.
is that picture has made its rounds even onto our Discord and like as an emoji. And I don't know who uploaded it, but that's hysterical. And that picture is when my whole family fell asleep driving home. Everybody was out except for me. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Oh my
Yes, it's one
goodness.
of the.
It was a cat. Sorry. It's a cat in a leash.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even a harness leash. It's just a collar and a leash. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I
No,
just
that was
thought about
perfect.
Don't be,
That
because
was
this is-
perfect.
she was cradling the cat, and then her
Oh
little
my
girl
goodness,
was
that was perfect.
walking with her.
Oh boy.
That was perfect.
Yeah, in Discord you can create your own like stickers, and so I made
think
one
it's
of
great.
you, Cav, and Church, and
Yes, I when I saw those, I died laughing, just because I thought that's hysterical. So for anybody
Yeah.
that wants to know what I'm talking about, There you go.
The
There's your new
QR code,
mystery
by the way, is
flavor.
for
Your
gatherthenerds.com.
mystery flavor Pop-Tart box right there. And I love that you even got the outline. Oh my goodness.
You
That's
A little
guys,
bit.
hysterical. This is how I
That's
feel about it though,
probably-
friends.
that's probably the same look that we'll have on our faces when we eat that mystery flavor.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what was
did
it
they
that
give
you
any
tried?
hints of what it might be?
Oh.
They've not. They said here's the backstory because every good mystery flavor needs a backstory. A masked culprit has broken into the Pop-Tarts factory and created a mysterious, delicious new flavor. The flavor was so delicious that they hired, quote, Mr. E, a world-class flavor investigator and the title character on the new Pop-Tarts box to solve the case. Fans are invited to help Mr. E solve the mystery by sharing their best flavor guesses for a chance to win prizes.
I looked at the file name when you read the name of the character that broke in. It says Mr. Nick E. Oh goodness.
I'm always wary of mystery flavors, though. It always scares me. Hannah,
my-
what did you and Bill have that was just terrible?
We had mystery Mountain Dew, and I
Oh, that
think
was what
it
it was.
turned out to be. To me, it tasted like key lime pie, but terrible. Not that
Key lime pie is
all that
so
good.
specific of a flavor that I
Right,
wouldn't
but
want to
then-
drink it.
It turns out that it wasn't key lime pie. It was something else when they revealed it.
Wasn't
but
it supposed to
I-
be like candy corn or something terrible like that? I
Something,
think it was around
which
Halloween.
is also terrible, but I think they were wrong. I think it's key lime pie. And it was gross, but I paid for it, so I felt like I needed to keep drinking it.
There
Oh.
was a
Fruit candy explosion.
this
I think.
goes back to an early episode. I mean, I'm talking this is probably in the first 10 episodes of Gather the Nerds. So really, I think only me and Nick, maybe there was a review for Steven Seagal's energy drink.
Oh,
Nick, do you remember this?
I remember.
do.
you talking
I remember that.
And I think the review said it tasted like cough syrup that you drank out of an ashtray.
Oh,
Like it was that specific. And back when we used to do this thing called like bad movie nights or bad movie weekends with me and my sister and a few other people, where basically we would find two specific actors and grab like 2 or 3 movies each of the worst movies you could possibly imagine and watch them over a weekend, and we would put them head to head. So like one was like David Hasselhoff versus Jean-Claude Van Damme, or like all this other stuff, and I had cans of it. Not that I drank it, just because I had some specifically for this purpose. And one of the guys drank it and said it was the worst thing he's ever drank in his entire existence. So, but it had a bunch of magical berries or something in it because it's Steven Seagal. So it may have been Steven Seagal versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. There was a Hasselhoff weekend too. It may have been Hasselhoff and Chuck Norris. I can't remember. But we found the worst movies. It was
Have you
But-
checked
but-
in with your friend that drank it?
no.
Is it possible he is a Highlander now?
It's true. It's a
There
good
can be
point.
only one.
That's right. That may have been the traumatic event that killed him, that activated his immortality.
There you go.
That could be it, because Highlander 2 does not exist. That they're space aliens.
Aren't there 2 versions
There
of
are.
Highlander 2?
There's the theatrical version, which is awful in every way. And then there's the quickening version, which is less awful but not wonderful. And
'Cause
really, the franchise stops there.
then
Which
there's
one
the
do they go
Snyder
to the
Cut.
space? Is the theatrical one?
I think that's the theatrical one.
Because
That-
so like when Joni and I were dating, I was like, I've got to try to run her off if this is gonna work. If she doesn't leave after this, we're good. We watched all the Highlander movies for like a month, and like the space one was like, Joan, I'm sorry, this is terrible.
it was great.
So I knew at that point if she was gonna watch Highlander with me, we're good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we want to talk about for episode 181? Better graphics, less butts.
there was a small child just now that was marching up and down the street with a Nerf gun.
Oh dear.
Patrols.
That's all I have to add.
Mojo appreciates it. Mojo has a really bad case of the zoomies, apparently.
Well, I would encourage everybody to play Psychonauts and the new.
And Turnip Boy gets busted for tax evasion.
Oh, that too. Yeah, yeah. No, I was gonna say the remaster of Mass Effect. So
There you
excited
go.
about that. It's gonna be great.
I'm still just stuck in Destiny. I can't escape. I just can't escape.
All you gotta do
Understand
is just stop playing, and then it's hard to go back to playing. I can promise you, because that's where I'm at.
I can't.
I really enjoyed last season, and then
This
I don't know,
season's
the
really
last
fun,
like 2-3
actually.
weeks of it, I got busy, and then I just could never really.
This
So
season's
I've
pretty
only
fun.
played for an hour in this current season.
Yeah.
So
It's fun. Lots of Vex. So, all right, gang. Well, if we have nothing else, if you find a box of Pop-Tart mystery flavors, I will be very curious as to what you think. I do have to go to Walmart/Costco here this afternoon, so if I find some, I will purchase them.
and
You're not getting
disclaimer,
them
my
from Costco.
face is not on the box.
No,
We don't
I
have
looked
that-
it up.
Not
I
yet.
was very disappointed to see the Pop Tart with the little mustache.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It took Sam like less than an episode to digitally put you on that box. How long do you think it's really going to take us to print that and basically physically put you on the box?
A day.
Just tape
Yeah.
it to each box.
We can do that.
I'm gonna go to Walmart and just replace the mystery face with Nick.
And then we'll
the
be on the
QR code.
news, but instead of stealing Pokemon cards from cereal, it'll be people are putting this random stuff on Pop Tarts.
Yep, it's gonna be that.
As long as it's not my face, I don't want to go to jail. So
That's how we hit it big. It's like people start scanning that QR code. They're like, "What's Gather the Nerds?"
Nerds
There you go.
together. Dope.
Somebody has a Discord call coming in. I
Discord.
think it sounds like the Discord
Mm.
ringtone, isn't it?
Oh no.
sounds like
No.
FaceTime to me.
it's
Oh, is that FaceTime?
Facebook.
Gotcha.
Messenger.
All right, gang.
My bad.
Well, I think we're a month or less away from Fast 9, F9, whatever you want to call it. As soon as tickets go on sale, unfortunately, I believe Nick will be in a galaxy far, far away when that happens.
I don't know how
Yeah,
unfortunate
I
that
think
is for him.
A lot comes out in July.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
sweating my tail off either way. So I don't know.
Black Widow is in July, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Loki is in July.
Yep.
Right. And then Fast 9, July.
So Fast 9.
We didn't talk
June.
about Bad
June.
Batch.
Oh yeah. You can talk about it.
No, I don't know if we can. Nick, did you watch Bad Batch?
I did, but I'll be honest, I had a massive headache while I was cleaning the house, so I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Oh, okay.
So let's just hold it until next week. But I saw that there's a bounty hunter involved.
Well, I just
That's
want to
all-
rescind my original complaint. My only complaint at the beginning was that.
I told him this.
Yes. I'm sorry. Would you like to tell everybody this?
No, you can. I just wanted the credit.
So my only complaint at the beginning was they had that kid that sounded like he was super old.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's because
He's
that
a
was a
girl?
character they were tying in with a character from Rebels, and it was voiced by the same guy, who it turns out is like 40.
Kanan
So-
Jarrus.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, I wasn't paying attention. Kind of
Why
like
is his
you.
name different though? Because they call him Caleb.
Whatever.
I think to hide that he was a Jedi. Like I think if I remember the backstory to hide, he gave himself a different name.
Which was Kanan.
I guess. I don't
Whatever.
remember which one. I think Kanan is the real one. Is that what they?
But
call
his
him?
master called him Caleb.
Okay, then the other way.
Okay. Here's
Doesn't
why
matter.
I knew that. Here's why I knew
Yeah.
that. I recognized the voice because we rewatched that one, but the lightsaber gave it away.
Oh, yeah.
His lightsaber is Kanan's lightsaber.
I missed it the first time, is all I'm saying.
I did too.
I was
and until you
corrected
pointed out that his voice was
somebody.
different. Well, when I watched it, I thought, well, that voice sounds familiar, but I didn't think anything
Yeah.
of it. And then you said what you said about the age discrepancy. And then when we rewatched, I was like, man, that sounds like Kanan. And then I saw the lightsaber, and I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Kanan.
Now that I
But
know, it
I wasn't
all.
for sure that it was Kanan, but I figured it had to be somehow connected.
That was
It's
with this episode too. There was a character that we were like, why does that voice sound familiar? And then we were able to put it together.
Okay,
what I
well,
was
then
gonna
I
say.
definitely need to rewatch it then.
They're putting these different elements of the universe together, and it's wonderful. It is so
That-
great.
I mean, that's the only way that they're going to survive doing all these offshoots of shows, because the average person doesn't know. I mean, like I've had 2 different people ask me about the Bad Batch at work,
Mhm, mhm,
and they
mhm.
don't have any frame of reference of where they came from. So then I have to explain, like, you met them in this series, but you don't have to watch the whole series to know about them. But you might want to watch this season to understand who they are,
Mhm.
And it's just kind of it's hard to explain because Clone Wars is so vast. It's hard to convince anybody to watch 7 seasons of 25 episodes apiece. That's hard. That's a hard
No matter
sell.
how good they are.
Especially now,
Right.
the series being shorter.
Exactly.
We had to tell Church that because he hasn't finished Clone Wars, and we're like, well, you don't really have to, but maybe like this one episode or so. That
I'm giving up. I'm just telling them forget it. Just go ahead and start Bad Batch. You need it because it's tying into everything else, and it's great.
Okay.
Awesome.
So.
There it is.
Sounds good.
It's our plug.
There's your plug. All right, gang. Well, I can't wait to see everybody at the next movie we go to. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll see each other here for a little while. A little while longer. But this has been episode 181 of Gather the Nerds. Better graphics, less butts. I'm Cav. That's Nick.
See you guys.
Hannah.
Bye, I'm not evil.
Sam.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.